Yay! Early bird bonuses. Here we go. Whoop whoop. It's the sound of the police. It isn't, it's just me. Do not worry. So, I thought I would do a little video about early bird bonuses because what a fun thing to offer in life. And I'm particularly proud of one of them. One of them depends, right? So we're going to go down two different tracks. There is an early bird bonus that if you are curious about what is possible with an AI toolkit and instant gratification, then you'll like it. And if you are a paper and print girly, that's the other one. So that's what I've done. But I wanted to show you the toolkit one because I think that it needs that little bit of explanation. So if we are brand new to each other's world, hi, I'm Claire. I run Sparkle on Substack, the membership, and I am the host of this beautiful course that I cannot wait to get going with. So I have built this in Claude, and the link that I will give you is a public link. I would love for you not to share it further than just this, and it's something that I will adjust and test in real time. So it'll enhance and change over time. So it's an identity builder for your Substack digital magazine. And so the idea is that we're going from scattered to clear. We're going to get the idea, the aesthetic, and the content plan all in one place. At the end of filling this in, you can download it as a PDF and then you can either upload it to your own Claude or AI and work with it there, or you can just use it, print it, scribble all over it. However you want to work, analog or digitally is fine. So it just gives you a bit of an overview. So I'll not go through that today. We start with human design. So if you're not familiar with your human design, you can go to this web link and get your human design if you can't remember it. Once you've got it, you can save it, you can upload it to your AI. So I'll just do it based on mine. So I am a projector with a mental authority, and I have the 2-4 line, which is the hermit and the opportunist. So we're going to go into here. So it's asking me what my Substack is called. Let's do it for Creatively Conscious. So Creatively Conscious is my behind the scenes of my creative business newsletter. So we'll do it for that one. And then I see myself as a founder, a creative who also writes, an author, an audio first person. Now, there might be other things, just pick the one that's closer. I didn't want to overwhelm you with options here. So I'm going to go with a founder for this one, press continue. And then the 5 words, again, you can add your own. So with this one, it's warm, soulful, honest, dreamy at times. And then I'll maybe add, I don't see it there, the word creative. Describe ideal reader. So this can be really challenging work to do. One of the things that I talk about in my audience alchemy framework is going to your subscriber tab and just clicking on people's profile and just trying to get a sense of who they are in the world. So I would say midlife woman, interested or curious about building an online creative business, often intrigued by my choices, career, and doesn't want to burn out. Now, there's so many different ways I could describe the person. I could put neurodivergent in there, but I don't like to do that because it's very specific and not a lot of people are diagnosed yet. So even if I might put that in my language, it's more invitational. So I haven't put it in here, but I could. So you can be as niche as you want, or you can leave it a bit more open like I have. So what kind of content do you love making? So this is about what you really love to make. So choose from the below. So I do the personal essays, I do the behind the scenes, sometimes do interviews, I do seasonal guides. I don't do reader Q&As here. I don't do product recommendations there. Do I want to add anything else in here? I'm going to put audio notes because I'll often do audio notes in there. What does your magazine do for the human behind the scenes? So this is the breaking of the fourth wall piece. So mine is to soothe and to inspire. There might be a tiny bit of education and there might be community and connection, but my purpose is to soothe and inspire. So I could also click that. I could click this as well, but that would be more Sparkle on Substack. So I'm going to leave those ones blank. What do you want your readers to feel or do after reading your magazine? I want them to feel seen, to pick up permission slips to share my work and take it with them into their day and business. Okay, let's build the visual world. So there's some suggestions here. Now, again, just go with the one that sounds right to you because this is only ever a springboard, a starting point. So I would say clean and minimal for me because the soft and dreamy maybe, but I think I'm more clean and minimal, so I'll leave it there. And then it's gonna let me pick some colors below. So it talks about power colors here. So this is pulled from a framework that I researched. So it's a really interesting one just to connect to in terms of a snapshot. And we will go into this more in the course, but just so you've got a sort of a snapshot of what these colors are and mean, it can be quite helpful when you're thinking about the colors that you want. Also in the course, we build out a Pinterest board because for me, the biggest joy is opening my laptop and my Substack and being very connected to the beautiful brand. I don't feel like branding is that easy for me. I've had to work really hard to have a brand that feels like me, that feels like home, that feels part of my aesthetic and that blends with the words. So this isn't easy work, but it's there if you want to reference it. So I know I have a blush pink, a cream, and I might have a dusty rose as well. I'll have a sky blue because of the nature. I might have a bit of a sort of forest green or a sage green. So I could click them all. I think that with branding, it's worth knowing that there's usually base colors and then an accent color or two. So you wouldn't do too many because it just gets really, really overwhelming. But I've given it that for now. So let's sort of see. My own photos is what I use. I don't use any illustrations very often. I don't tend to use stock images now, and I don't put Canva designs into Substack, so I don't need to tick any of those. How often do you publish? So I'm going to publish once a week, and I've got a global mix of readers. You can check that in your Substack settings if you don't know. Go into stats and then audience. Anything else that feels important? I have two sections. Self-seed your business and grow and wholehearted living. And I organize my posts into either of these. I've done interviews and classes in the past, but these are organized away from the homepage. Now, I don't know if that's too nuanced and I'm asking it to be too intelligent, but I just want to say where I'm at. And so now that's it. It's going to generate the identity now, and work that all through. So we'll just have a little moment to let it do that. It'll obviously tell you how it's working through that content. Because it's only 10 questions, you can fly through them. You can do it again if you want to. It's just meant to give you some sort of springboard for where you want to take your work. There will be lots more nuance and lots more breakthroughs in the course, but this just enables you to really see, okay, like this is how it all fits together. Sometimes it's really hard to hold something that is bigger than the sum of its parts. And especially if we're just starting out on Substack, we just might not have the knowledge and the information about how it all pieces together. So don't worry, I'm going to help you do all of that so that it feels really, really clear. So here we go. So this is one that it's saying I can copy the full identity, I can download it as a text file. So it's saying I'm a founder. This is the name of it. Permission slips for the woman building a creative life on her terms. So already I can see it is a creative life on her terms, but I would probably say online, and I would probably maybe weave in something more powerful, like around legacy. So I can see my own, like how I would edit that. It gives me my human design, which can really, really help with just supporting the type of editorial curator you're going to be. So I am very consistent with Substack. I am not consistent with LinkedIn. I am not consistent with Instagram. Substack is my platform, like long form is my home. So all of that will be in there. So I have a month off in August and I have some time off in December, and they're kind of built into my year. I also have tools that I use so that I can be visible without having to expend lots of energy. So I might do a roundup or I might have a guest expert in or something like that. So whatever that says there for you. And so it's given me some publication name ideas. Now, obviously, I've already got a publication name, so I don't need this. But these are really interesting to me because it has taken the nuance of what I've said and given me some language. I like the idea of letters. I like the idea of the conscious creative. I could use that further. So I might take that and run with it somewhere else, but just really interesting. Tagline ideas, again, I talked about that at the top. Like, I think I would take that to be way more powerful than AI. So, but an interesting starting point. Tone of voice, what to do and what to avoid. Again, AI is just basing all of this on the way it's been trained. So don't take this as verbatim, just take this as an interesting starting point. So writing from lived experience, well, I already do. Draw the wider insight out of it, I already do. The sensory details, seasonal textures, feeling embodied, not abstract yet. I do all of that. Name the thing the reader is feeling, yeah, all of that. So really helpful. And then the editorial mission statement. So I would write this out way longer, but for now, like I just think that is so helpful. The word grounding to grow, then the phrase, I don't think I really use that, but that is helpful. The content pillars. So again, I don't need this because I already have them, but can you see if you haven't quite got there or if you've got yourself in a muddle, it might give you some ideas for those. Now, what we'll be doing is we'll be looking at our content pillars and then we'll either be making a section or a tag within Substack. So these again are just nice starting points to start to understand how to organize your content within Substack. And then it's giving you some ideas here about all of that and how to organize it and a little nudge about SEO. It's telling me my best send time is Thursday at 7 a.m. Now, I probably wouldn't be able to do that just with the flow of things that I've got going and where I'm at. I could try and embody that and think about how would I shift my week to be ready enough to publish on a Thursday. At the moment, I publish either on a Friday morning or a Sunday morning, and I'm really comfortable with that within my working week. But obviously, what they're saying is that the person can see it on a Thursday, make space to read it, or has the whole weekend to catch up, which is obviously very logical. And then here's some descriptions around the colours. Oh, oh no. Oh, that's bad. Oh, so sad. I must have pressed something at the bottom there, so it's gone off. But imagine that I hadn't pressed that and you've seen it all go through. At the top, that's where you could have copied it. So you can copy and paste it as a whole, or you can download it as a PDF as a whole. So obviously I can't show you that because it's gone off and I'm not going to do it all again. It's not saved anywhere. Like you've got to actually download it and then that saves it. So that is early bird bonus number one. If you want to use it, if you want to sort of riff with it, I will be amending and shifting and changing it based on user feedback. So I've had no user feedback yet. I have asked my audience alchemy crew if they'll give me some feedback. So that might well come and I'll work with that into the artifact. Then, like I said, you've got the editorial calendar PDF, which is like your scoping document that you can print and use and scribble on and that sort of thing. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thanks so much for being open to using something like this and going with it. And I hope that there is some insight there before you start the course and something useful that you can get your teeth into, and then you'll be all ready to start the course once the tutorials go live. Thanks, guys.